Hey gang, we're in here. Welcome on back to the Cade, and this one is gonna be a little bit different, and it's not something that I plan on recording this week. But in the process of going through and filming new episodes for this playthrough for Super Robot Wars 3, me and the crew, we decided that it really was not going to be in our best interest, both in terms of creating the content and for what our original aim was in this playthrough to go any further with it. And I don't want to take too much time diving into all the how-tos and why-fors of it, but I at least want to give you the straight skinny because I had been looking forward to recording this series. Like I said, from the outset, it was one of the first reasons why we put this channel together back 3 years ago now when we did, was because we wanted to take games like this, shine some light on them, and present them to people who may not be aware of the fact that they existed. Except here's the real fundamental problem at the heart of recording this playthrough. This game is not as good as I had hoped it would be. And the way it's been playing has borne that out. Case in point, as I was recording today, I had one mission I was trying to do, and we've been trying to keep it consistent at between 30 and 45 minutes. If we let them run up to an hour, we've been willing to negotiate with it. But we've been trying to keep it in along with our standard playthrough format. About a half an hour if we can help it. The mission we were recording today, we were an hour and 20 minutes in, and we figured we still needed probably another half an hour to finish it, which would have been a 2-hour episode, which nobody is going to want to tune into. I know that, my team knows that, and I know you know that. So, the issue with this game, and I'll dive into a couple of quick details on it, is the way the mechanics are structured. It is one where it almost guarantees you're going to spend a lot longer getting through each mission than you should. Because the hit-to-miss ratio is so wide in this game, it doesn't matter how good of a character you have, it doesn't matter how good their stats are, you can have percentages of, and you can go back and watch the videos we've done, where you're looking at 75, 85, 95% probability that you're going to hit your target and whiff completely, and your opponent can have 20, 30, 40% chance of hitting and completely destroy you. That's not cool. I'm pleased to say that in later versions, they got that mechanic sorted out a lot better. The other problem is that because there's so few mechs in this game that you're able to utilize, the attrition rate can be so high that it's really easy to fail, and you're spending so much time repairing your destroyed robots that you don't have enough to level up the ones that you need to get to keep them in pace with the enemies you're fighting. Like in this mission we were recording, I had level 4, 5, 6, 7 robots going up against level 23, 24, 25 robots. That's never going to work. You're looking at something that's 3 times more powerful that shouldn't be, and by this point I should have had the means to be able to go through and update them and upgrade them so they can keep pace. And that does not make this sort of game that much fun. So, rather than trying to carry on and work our way through what very much feels like a no-win scenario here, we've decided we're going to pull the ripcord on this playthrough after this episode. And we are going to move in a slightly different direction, but we are going to stay playing Super Robot Wars. What we're going to do is we're going to move ahead to the PlayStation, and we are going to play Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden. Now, we're going to start recording those episodes in the next couple of days. So watch this space, and they will start premiering next Monday. The reason why we're picking this game is, one, it is of the franchise titles that are available, of which, again, there's a great many. It's one of the few that has been fully translated to English. And the mechanics, the format, the presentation, the graphics are all better. It also allows me to change the structure of how each mission is run, where I can have a little bit more control over how fast each mission plays out. And that will help me shrink down each episode as a whole, that way making it more appealing for you guys to want to watch. Because then you're not having to spend 20 minutes as I'm just sitting there waiting to see how things are going to pan out. So, again, we are going to be getting those started on recording them this week. We'll get the first couple episodes up next Monday, and they will take the place of this one on Monday and Wednesday. We will still have Sports Saturday and Suckerpunch Sunday. And again, apologies for this last weekend with Suckerpunch Sunday not coming out. Again, we had technical difficulties in trying to get a game recorded in time. And that's just one of those that we're running into a wall with that series where trying to find games that are of interest enough to us and we think would fit that moniker, we seem to be starting to run out of titles, which makes us, we're going back and having a rethink about it and how we want to proceed with that going forward. So what we might end up doing is we might end up swapping those out with like one-day playthroughs and other stuff, but we're still trying to figure that out as we go. Let's see, what else? One other programming note, we are still going to be off. The Retrocade will be closed, not this weekend, but the following weekend, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. We're going to be off because I'm going to be out of town. So I will not be here to record episodes. I won't be here to help edit episodes. So we're going to try and backlog a little bit of stuff before that, but we will likely not have anything that weekend. And also, we are looking ahead on our calendar, and we will likely be on hiatus through November, as I have a very important side project that I am in the formative stages of, that if I can get it off the ground, I'm going to need enough time to get it done. It is time sensitive, and that will likely require me having to dedicate all my energy in November to doing that work. So, which in some ways will be good because it'll give me a chance to kind of recharge the batteries and refocus on getting stuff done here, and then we can come back before the holidays and hopefully get some more stuff recorded before the end of 2024. But that's where we are for right now. Again, I don't like putting these sorts of things together. I don't like telling you that we're bailing on stuff. I want to see, even with not so great games, I want to see them through to the end. But we just realized that in recording these episodes for this particular game, we were fighting a losing battle. And I would rather just own up to it, pull the ripcord, call it good, and then find something that is a bit more interesting and in keeping with what our original goal was in putting a Super Robot Wars series out there, but with one that I think we can have more fun with, and one that I also think shows off the series better as a whole. This is a fun series. There's more than 50 titles to choose from across multiple consoles. I don't want it, if you've been following along with this, I don't want you to think that this particular version of the game, which is now 30 years old, is indicative of the franchise as a whole. It did get better as it has progressed through the generations, and I think once we had started with Alpha Gaiden, you're going to see the difference between that and where we are with Super Robot Wars 3. In fact, I would encourage you, because we're going to keep these episodes up on the archive, that once we get started on those, go back and watch the first episode of this playthrough versus the first episode of the Alpha Gaiden playthrough, and you will see just how much of a massive difference there is. So, but we're going to call it good for there because I want to keep this, again, relatively short and sweet. My name is Ronan. It has been great to spend this little bit of time with you. Be sure to follow us on social media through the usual channels at Instagram and Threads at Ronan's Retrocade. Help spread the word about us as we continue to build this channel and make it bigger and better, even at times where we completely fall on our face doing stuff like this. But we will talk to you on Saturday as we get ready for another episode of Sports Saturday. Bye.